Let's talk about a car that really shouldn't even exist. It's the story of how a bunch of engineers decided to do something completely wild, give a respectable family sedan the heart of a purebred race car. And in doing so, they didn't just build a car, they created an entire automotive dynasty, the BMW M5. It all started with this one kind of crazy question. You see, in one corner, you had BMW's M1 supercar, a total track weapon. And in the other, you had the 5 Series sedan, the definition of German sensibility. Well, the engineers at BMW M looked at both and decided to just smash them together. And that decision, it changed performance cars forever.
And just like that, they created this, the super sedan. A whole new category of car, a concept nobody even knew they wanted. Suddenly, you had a car that could quietly drop the kids off at school, and then on the drive home, it could hunt down and absolutely embarrass dedicated sports cars. The M5 didn't just show up to the party, it created the whole party.
All right, so to really get the M5, you've got to go right back to the beginning, to the first 2 generations. And these weren't just cars rolling off a normal assembly line. Nope. These were practically custom-built machines, hand-assembled by motorsport specialists. Each one was a testament to this obsession with pure engineering.
And this is it, the one that started it all, the E28 M5. This thing was the ultimate sleeper, the absolute definition of a wolf in sheep's clothing. I mean, to most people, it just looked like another boxy sedan from the 80s. But under that hood was the heart of the M1 supercar. It was like a secret handshake on wheels.
And that engine? It was putting out 282 horsepower. Now, I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound like a lot today. But in 1985, for a 4-door sedan, that was absolutely astronomical. It meant it could hit 60 miles per hour in about 6.5 seconds, which put it right in Porsche 911 territory. It was, quite literally, the fastest production sedan on the planet. Next up, the E34. This is where that wild original idea really started to grow up. The engine got bigger, power climbed up past 300 horses, the chassis got way more sophisticated, they even made a station wagon version. But its real legacy? This was the last M5 to be assembled by hand at the M Division's factory. It was truly the end of that handcrafted, artisanal era. Okay, now we get to an era that for many people is peak BMW. We're talking about 2 of the greatest engines ever made. This was the high point of natural aspiration. No turbos, no funny business, just pure, high-revving mechanical soul. And these next 2 cars, they represent 2 totally different ideas about how to achieve performance perfection. So let's talk about the E39 M5. This is a car that so many people still argue is the greatest performance sedan ever built. And you know what? They have a pretty strong case. This wasn't just an update, it was a full-on revolution. BMW designed a brand new V8 engine from a clean sheet of paper just for this car. A 4.9-liter masterpiece that was equal parts muscle and sophistication. And this right here, this shows you the massive change in thinking. See, the first 2 M5s used engines that were born from racing. The E39's V8, on the other hand, was purpose-built to be the ultimate road car engine. It was designed to deliver this huge, accessible wave of torque everywhere, but it would still scream its head off all the way to a 7,000 RPM redline. It was just sophisticated brutality. But the E39 was so much more than its engine. It was all about the balance, the harmony of the whole package. You had almost 400 horsepower, a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and steering that felt like it was hardwired to your brain. Every single part worked together perfectly. It was a thrill when you wanted a thrill, and a comfortable cruiser when you didn't. It really did become the benchmark for everyone else. So, how in the world do you follow up a car that's basically perfect? Well, you follow it up with complete and utter insanity. That's what the E60 M5 was. It was just this wonderfully deranged engineering flex. BMW's M division took the calm, collected character of the E39, and they replaced it with a V10-powered monster that was directly inspired by their Formula One team. Just look at this table. The numbers are just nuts. They went from 8 cylinders to 10, from under 400 horsepower to over 500, and that red line? 8,250 RPM. This thing had more horsepower than a Ferrari F430 from the same era. Think about that. It was a family sedan with the heart of an F1 race car. That idea is still mind-blowing today. And this quote just nails its personality. It wasn't easy to drive like the E39 was. It was raw, it was demanding. But when you finally let that V10 loose and heard that shriek, my God, it was absolutely spectacular. This wasn't just a car, it was a statement. But that high-revving, laterally aspirated dream couldn't last forever. New emissions rules and this endless race for more and more power forced a big change. And this led to the next M5 evolution, the move to turbocharging. Let me tell you, it was a controversial move. It traded some of that old-school character for a new kind of overwhelming, brutal force. The F10 M5 was the car that brought in this new era. That screaming V10 was gone, replaced by a twin-turbo V8. And the purists, they were not happy. They missed that razor-sharp throttle response. But the payoff? A tidal wave of torque that would pin you in your seat from pretty much any speed. It was a totally different kind of fast, less like a scalpel, more like a freight train. Okay, so now we've got power levels soaring past 600 horsepower. And trying to put all that force down through just the two rear tires was becoming, well, a bit of a problem. The solution for the F90 M5 was MX Drive, this brilliant all-wheel drive system. It gave you incredible traction, but, and this is the key part, with the flip of a switch, you could send 100% of the power to the rear wheels, keeping that wild M-car spirit alive and well. And just look at what that technology does to the acceleration. The jump is staggering. The legendary E39 did the sprint in 4.8 seconds. Pretty good. The F10 knocked that down to 4 seconds. But the F90, with that all-wheel drive grip, it completely physics-defying 3.1 seconds. We're talking about a 5-seat luxury sedan that is faster than most purpose-built supercars. So after all these years, after all these huge changes in technology, why is the M5 still such an icon? Well, I think it's because through every single shift, it has stayed true to its core idea, being the absolute pinnacle of what happens when you mix breathtaking performance with everyday usability. And that relentless evolution is still going. The very latest M5, the G90, marks the next massive leap forward, bringing in a hybrid V8 powertrain. The electric motor adds this instant sledgehammer kick of torque right off the line, boosting the total power to well over 700 horsepower. It just proves that the M5 formula can adapt and dominate in any era. The M5's success story really boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful four-step formula. It's always about stuffing an exotic, supercar-level engine into a practical body. It's about mastering that perfect balance between luxury and brutality. And it's making sure that no matter the tech, you can still feel that motorsport DNA. It's a race car in a business suit. You can really tell the entire story of the M5 just by looking at its engines. This timeline charts it perfectly. It's a journey from pure motorsport roots to balanced V8 muscle, from the sheer, beautiful insanity of the V10 to the overwhelming force of twin turbos, and now into the hybrid future. Each engine is a perfect snapshot of its generation. And really, that's the M5's journey. It started out as this wild backroom experiment, a crazy idea cooked up in a small workshop. And today it stands as an engineering dynasty, a car so influential that it inspired generations of competitors from every other major brand, all of them trying to capture that same magic. I mean, think about it. It has mastered natural aspiration, it conquered turbocharging, and now it's redefining what hybrid power can be. It is proven, time and time again, that it can't just adapt to the future, it defines it. Which really only leaves one question. What on earth is it going to do next?